right, here we go again. Good afternoon, folks. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. And my guest today is none other the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Damian Palmer. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How
Good
about
to
you?
see you. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for popping in and doing this.
Oh,
I know it's kind of a challenge being who you are and getting out to be able to sit down and talk about what you do. Because I know we talked about this, man. I like, man, we got to get you on the show. We got to get you on the show.
I think this is like 6 scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like, and it's just building and growing. That's what it's all about, right? And I'm at a better place now where I can kind of pull myself a little bit more than before, and that's all it was.
Good. Well, that's always good to know, man. We're going to tell the folks a little bit about what you got going on, who you are. I don't know if you saw the way I described you.
So,
You definitely are the rookie of the year, bro.
oh man.
So tell the folks who you are, man.
Anybody that ever see me on Facebook know I'm very shy. No, I mess with you. Yeah, well, pretty much my story is, well, I started in real estate about 2 years. We're going on 2 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
Before real estate, I was in the restaurant industry for about 18 years, something like that. General manager at different stores and such. And just like anybody else, I just reached the point where I was like, there has to be more. There has to be something better, trying to just really grow. And anybody that ever worked in a restaurant know the crazy hours. I remember one day when I clocked out, I clocked in and out. It was like I looked at my punch-out slip. I did an 18-hour shift one day on the job.
Wow.
So it was constantly ripping and running, constantly working for somebody else. At that time, I actually met my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time. Her sister is actually married to a very good friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey, take
Right.
Don't listen. Are you serious? Because if you're not serious, don't call her.
Don't even do it. Right.
So her and I kind of talked for a while, like 4 months or so. And we kept on just saying, hey, what can we do together? What were we trying to do to build?
Right.
What can we do to really get something going other than both of us working for other people? I was a general manager. I was making good money at the time, but again, it's just that's not the end game.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
Let's kind of move forward a little bit. I got my mom involved with it too, and we all three of us kind of came together and said, okay, let's do something for all three of us to really start this thing up. And my mom moved from Charlotte, came down here. We all moved together to say, hey, this is what we're trying to build to start our business up. You know, we were just like everybody else when we first started into the real estate. You know, we're looking at so many different programs, what can get you started. And we finally came up with one that was really good for me, which was Fortune Builders.
Shout out to Fortune Builders.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Fortune Builders with a good system. So after doing that, we joined it. We really just fast forward ahead. It took us. I'm the type of person, if I don't do something, I forget it right. I got ADD, HBCDEFG, so I have to be
say all of that, huh?
all of that good stuff. So I have to implement things immediately, or I will forget it. And I'm not a write down person and things of the sort. So I'm a doer. If I don't do it, I don't learn it. So I had to do it. So I did everything like what everybody else did. Watch all the videos, do all the books and everything like that. And then my next thing was, okay, let me start implementing these things to get started.
Yes. Okay.
So that's what happens in real life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So where was I? So yeah. When I joined in like September. I got my first deal like 3 weeks.
I know how to avoid that, but I can't stop the show because
it's all right.
it's
So
gonna keep
just to
going
let you
into
guys know, this is real life, unscripted. We're not planning any of these
Right.
things. So, and that's just something we got to look at. There's things that just happen in life, and just how you look at it and move forward. Yeah. So after the first month, I looked on Zillow because at the time I didn't have any money at the time.
All right. So yeah, that's my other phone system that rings to my phone.
Oh, and it keeps sending the calls.
So it's actually circling, and every time somebody else doesn't pick up, it comes back to me. Yeah, that's one of those things. But good thing we're still here.
Yeah, definitely. So I lost my train of thought again. But anyways, at that point, that was my first project. The agent in the neighborhood that I'm in, because everybody know, like, well, everybody don't know. I don't like hot neighborhoods. I don't like being in the hottest neighborhood. I don't like going in price points over 250. I love the first time home buyer market. So even at that time when we first started, we had that mindset coming off.
So let's pause for a minute and go back, because I want folks to hear where you are with what you're doing. Okay, let's kind of reframe it a little bit.
Yeah.
You're new. Your first project, you're 13. You got 13 months. You hired and fired 6 electricians. You end up having to wire it yourself to pass inspection. How much are you losing at that point?
The crazy thing is that we didn't lose anything on that.
Really?
What happened is during that time we bought the property they had it listed for, it was 53 at the time. I got it on the contract for 46.
Oh, okay.
Because, again,
okay.
with the backing of the knowledge of the program that I joined, it gave me a little bit more confidence when I was going out there and.
You hit them upside the head again. They missed that.
Yeah.
You said it was listed.
Yeah, it's listed.
That's a big deal for the market that we're in and what we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Most people don't talk about buying listed properties.
But 50% of the properties that I buy are listed.
Yes.
Because it's so many people don't go on the MLS. And again, I keep saying MLS, but it's Zillow. I don't even go on MLS. I use Zillow. My wife is an agent. I've been using Zillow ever since I started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, so at that time, the agent that we had listed the property actually told us we can't sell the property for over $90,000. We listed it at that time for $160, and it sat. It sat for 2 months. Called my broker in at the time, which Amy Ransdale. Shout out to Southeastern Home Team.
Shout out to Southeastern.
She came in and talked to us. Was like, okay, I think this is what needs to do. Because again, we first started, we were over budget to what we first initially said we were gonna do, just from carrying costs alone.
Yes.
And we were like, we just want to get this thing sold. We took it off the market. We ended up tearing the backsplash out. We changed some more windows in the house. Repainted the whole house on the outside. And then we relisted it.
Wow.
So we fired the agent. My wife ended up listing it after that. So my wife listed it, and it ended up selling in like the first week. It sat a little bit, and we were still like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Same situation. We had people coming and looking at it, and the first thing people kept on saying, the neighborhood. Like, they love the house, they hate the neighborhood. We buy in very transitional neighborhoods,
right,
so you will
right.
always have those issues. So how do you fix that problem? So on our listing, we actually showed them, hey, we bought this property, and there's also these properties that investors have bought. So we actually put that on our listing, a map of properties that were bought and sold in the neighborhood, and showed them the activity that was going on in the neighborhood. And they loved it. They said, okay, they see that the neighborhood is like this right now, but they see where it's going on for that. And then they came in right after that and did, when we relisted it, we actually relisted it at $150, and then they came in at full price at $150, and we got it off. We pretty much almost broke even on that one, just because the market just kept on climbing.
Right.
When we went to the neighborhood, the ARV was 127. We ended up selling it for 150.
Good stuff. And it appraised at 150.
It appraised.
Okay, good.
It actually appraised at 160.
Are you serious?
It actually appraised at 160.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in that time, the first agent told you that you couldn't list it above 90.
Yeah.
Had there been any other activity that happened? I mean, imagine there was a reason why she said that.
Well, there was.
Hopefully, she knows enough what she was talking about.
She thinks she knew what she was talking about. But one of the things that I do, and I always do, I pay attention to investors. If somebody, as soon as the dumpsters drop, I stalk that person literally until I find out who owns the house, and I have conversations with them. There was a gentleman in the neighborhood that was going to list his property for $90,000.
Okay.
And I told him you can't do that. I was like, you cannot list your property for $90,000. That's ridiculous. You're gonna kill the neighborhood if you do it. He ended up listing his for $169 and got it sold.
Are you serious?
160. He got it sold for $164.
Wow.
So that's what helped me. When he did that, I was sure I can get the value on mine, because I knew he pushed the number on his. that kind of set the trend on it.
So again, so his sold before yours.
Yes, his sold before mine.
So based on what I guess Amy had told you is why you told him that, is it?
Well, I told him that before what Amy had told me, but because his sold at that time, his sold within the time of us firing the first agent and listing it ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
the other agent, one of the things that I even did is we were asking, what kind of feedback are you getting from the people? And she's like, we're not really getting any feedback. So Mahar actually stopped at my project because, he's an agent also with Southeastern Home Team. And
okay,
he came in and pinged the box. He came and checked it out because I'm like, okay, we got it back on the market. What's going on? What can we fix? And he was like, yo, it's good how it is right now. The agent didn't even call him and reach out to him. So I called her the same day. I was like, hey, did anybody visit the property today? She's like, nah, nobody didn't visit the property. I was there with him at the property. And I'm like, okay, you're fired. Because that's the same things that people don't realize. A lot of these agents now, if they're not working with investors and they're not used to it, they think they can just put it on the market, list it, and the property would sell itself.
Right.
We're not in that market right now, so that's not going to work in this market. You really have to push it. You got to market it. You got to put yourself out there. Fast forward to where we're at right now, and end of 2000, beginning of this year, we end up selling at least, I think, 11 or 13 properties with last year. Right now, we've purchased about 23 right now since we've started till now. We currently have 11 renovations going on, and I do wholesale deals and I do rehabs. But a lot of people don't even know I do wholesales because I do that. That's a completely different business.
Right. I know you do wholesale.
Yeah.
I keep up with you.
Yeah, but it's been a great experience. I'm still learning. We're still growing. We're still developing. One of the things that my coach told me a while back too is as we were growing, I was managing all my projects. I was the project manager. I was the one there with each of them doing everything. And for me to grow my business the way that we wanted to, I had to start hiring GCs. So I started hiring GCs to take on. I was in the middle of 3 projects, and I was doing it. And the first GC I hired took over 2 of them, and then I hired another GC to take over 1 of them. And I think I'm already halfway through the project, almost finished it. And you think, why would you pay somebody to do your project at that time? Is that my time is more valuable.
Absolutely.
Time is so much more valuable at that time. I know you guys, if you keep up with me, seen the video I was doing one morning, sitting down, waiting for an inspector, and the inspector came at like 11 o'clock. He called me 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yeah, you were the first person on it, but I'm just not coming to you. I'm going to go to these other guys first, and then I'm going to come to you. And I'm like, seriously?
Really? Seriously? And he actually told you that?
Yeah, he told me that. He told me that. And it was crazy. And that's what was kind of lit the match under me. Like, this is ridiculous. My time is more valuable than sitting outside waiting for
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The next day I just hired a crew. With that being said, that's what allowed me to kind of ramp it up immediately from looking for more properties and getting more renovations going on at that time. Right now, we're just looking to still keep growing, keep learning, keep putting ourselves around like-minded people, because that's the real thing that you got to worry about. Not worry about, you got to really focus on it. You got to be around the right people, because then if you're not, you end up getting stuck in a hole, and you believe that you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's not possible. But it's one of the things that one of my coaches last night I was talking to her about is that if you focus on the color yellow, everything you're going to see all day is going to be yellow.
Right.
Because you're focused on it. It's just like if you buy a new car.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden now, all you see is like, man, everybody have this new
All
car.
the time.
Because that's what you're focused on.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
if you're focusing on the negative things, guess what? Every single time something happens, it's negative. Whether it's positive or not, in your mind, everything is negative now. So everything that comes your way is negative.
Wow.
So you got to set your mindset on, no, what's the solution? Everything is positive. So, okay, this is just another step for me to get to my goal, which is positive, and just keep pushing to that. There's always going to be challenges. Nothing is easy. Everything that we do, whether it's this business or any other business, is still it's going to start at mindset. If your mind is not in the right place before you even start, you're going to fail without even taking that first step, because your mind is not right. You really got to set your mind focused, get yourself to where you need to be, and then you start. Because again, if these challenges are hitting you and you're in a negative mindset, you'll quit before you even start.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's do a little bit of rewind, because I want the folks to really get, like, you're where you are right now and you're crushing it. And you talked about your first experience having the challenges that you did. So once that property is sold, what's the transition to the next and the next and the next and the next? How is that transition? How did that transition happen for you?
So
So you said you actually now doing 11
yeah,
projects at one time. How did you get from catching hell on one project now doing 11 in your first 2 years?
yeah. So
Yeah. So how do you get there?
um,
You,
now,
you,
now
and
now it's happening to me. Yeah. So the funny thing is that while my first project was bombing, everything was catching on fire, everything was
uh-huh.
failing.
Yeah.
I, I stepped away from it and started looking for more houses.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
again, it still goes to mindset. The other person would be trying to fix the things here. I couldn't fix anything at that time. I
Right.
just had to let it run its course. I
Absolutely.
couldn't do nothing
Absolutely.
about it at that time. I didn't have a handle on it. I just let it run its course, and whatever happened at that time, I just let it. Hey,
It is what it
it
is.
hit the fans already. So let it spin around some more and see what happens. I started looking for more deals.
Right.
So
Right.
when I started looking for more deals, then I realized, wait, I'm actually good at finding deals.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I'm I'm not great at doing the renovations. I'm still working on it, but I'm actually good at finding deals.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
first, when we started, we were driving for dollars a lot. So we did a lot of driving for dollars when we first started, and we got a lot of properties through that driving for dollars. So one of the next things we start working on is my negotiating skills.
Mm.
Not settling, really sticking to the numbers where you want it, and just hey, that's what it is. The next property that I got, I had it under contract for 80, and 80 was a good price at that time. The house was built in 2007. It
Mm.
was supposed to be a 2-month renovation. That one ended up.
I love it when we say that we have this perfect time that we have set. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 2-month renovation. It stretched out a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
The first week we start wiring it, they cut the electrical lines out of that one. We gotta love it.
Gotta love it. Right.
Gotta
Right.
love
Gotta
it.
love it.
The GC that I had working on it was just stretching it out. He just kept on stretching. He was
Mm.
there every day, but he just kept on stretching it out. And I'm like, dude, it was him and like one other guy. I'm like, where's the crew that
Right.
you said you had? Like, you said you had a crew. What's going on? I keep firing people. I keep firing people. I'm like, yo, and I'm working with him because I'm like, yeah, he's doing good work, but he's just stretching out. And it reached to the point where I even gave him a deadline. It was like, hey, if you're not done by this time, we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
One of the things that saved us with him is that we did not pay him for any. We had draw schedules, so
Mhm.
if you didn't finish everything on your draw schedule, we were not paying him.
Absolutely.
He worked for
Absolutely.
like 2 months and still didn't complete certain tasks, and I didn't pay him. So
Really?
he literally worked for 2 months, and I did not pay him until like the second month when he finally. And I'm like, okay, you reached to the point where you finished everything on that, and I'm paying you for it. I'm not paying.
So let me ask you this: was he good?
At
So,
that time, I thought
good
he
being
was good.
good being a relative term.
Yeah.
I mean, because you think like this, if he's really good, he wouldn't have to stick around and wait for 2 months to get paid.
Exactly. But again, you're ignorant. You're just starting up. You're still learning. Because remember, this is my second renovation right now, and
Yes.
I'm like, he's coming
Yes.
every day. I'm like, okay, he's here.
Yeah,
every
he's
day.
showing up.
He's showing up. So I'm like, that's a great thing. But when you're there every day, and you're so much involved inside your business, and you're working in your business.
In your business, yes,
So much, the
yes.
time gets away from you because you're not focusing on anything else but this one project, and I'm killing myself working in the business.
Definitely.
I'm there helping them do things, and I'm like, okay, we're working together to get this thing killed, but I'm doing what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, I'm not doing a good thing for me and my business.
A disservice.
A
Okay.
disservice,
Yeah.
that's what it
Hmm.
is.
I know that. It
Yeah.
sounds like that's where you're going.
I'm doing a disservice to my business because I'm working so much in my business and not on my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it's like I started all over. It seemed like the first rehab all over again.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Again, with that one, while we were working on that one, another property came on the market on Zillow, and I bought that one. It was in the same neighborhood as the first one, and I had that one, had a tenant in it. So I was like, okay, that's good. They'll cover the loan costs of my hard money lender while I'm finishing off this, and they were month to month. So I'm like, it works out perfectly because when we reach a certain point, I could say, okay, give them their notice. I'm going to finish this one, and then I can go start that one because they're paying the loan for the hard money lender for me.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay.
This one stretched out a little bit longer again. End up letting him go and have another guy finish it. That property ended up selling, and we made a nice little profit on that one. That was good. While that was going on, now we're like, okay, we need to find more deals, and then we just ramped it up and start picking up more projects. So Zillow, driving for dollars, wholesalers, and one of the things that I really marketed for myself is that's when I really start getting involved in social media, Facebook, and start ramping up what I was doing to show people what I was doing, especially to just have this perception, and not really a perception, is, well, it is a perception to show you, hey, this is what my business is, this is what we do, and this is how we can get it done.
Absolutely.
So I started taking a lot more videos of closings and deals that I was doing that time to kind of build my career through that. And then I had a lot more people start reaching out to me with deals. I bought deals off of Facebook where the person sent me a deal and said, hey, can you close in this time? And I could close in that time. So it ended up being a good deal for me and that other person. And ever since that, we just kept it rolling. And we're at this point right now.
Sounds like I need to be doing some more Facebook stuff.
Yeah.
I buy deals too, y'all.
The crazy thing though, somebody told me before, even on Facebook, we're pushing to actually push the brand of my company a little bit more, because a lot of people don't know my wife's gonna kill me, because my whole presentation I was supposed to start, I was supposed to start off letting them know I'm part of LMP Property Partners, and that's the name of my company. I never said that. 90% of all my videos when I first started, I've never mentioned my company.
It's interesting, when we were creating the flyer, my person always says, what's the name of the company, what's their title? I'm like, real estate investor.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't push my company the way I should. So just to revamp, we're going to start like we from the beginning. Yes, my name is Damian Palmer. I'm part of LMP Property Partners.
Look, so we got to make sure we plug that in there. So whoever's watching, if y'all can go ahead and put that in at the bottom, make sure y'all add that to it.
Definitely. Anybody's watching, just text the name of the company. Just know that you know what it is.
Right. So I want to do this real quick while we're at that point. For those of you that are watching, please go ahead and share this in the other groups. Share it in your news feeds. And actually, do us a favor. For those of you that are watching, go ahead and put in the comments where you're watching from, because we get people watching from all over the country. So let us know where you're watching from, and go ahead and share it. Thanks. So LMP Property Partners. That's you and your wife, of course.
It's actually my son's name is Liam, so that's the Ellen,
and okay.
P is for my mom, which is Paula.
You know, I should have thought that. I'm like, your name is Damian, and your wife's name is
Doreen.
Right. Like, why not D&D?
Yeah.
But that's good stuff, though, man. That's good stuff. So now, 11 projects going on. Now, somebody would imagine with all that you have going on, you know, and I'm getting to how you are getting there. So you have a lot of private investors that you use private funds, and you kind of use hard money as well.
And banks as well.
And banks, okay, yeah, because I know we talked, and you gave me some very good information about one bank that you use that we're actually going to be working with here pretty soon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we're actually going to be starting the refinance process on one of the projects we're working on. So and you mentioned another thing that I want to, kind of recap on. You said you were talking to one of your coaches.
Yes.
So in the program that you went through, I imagine you have a number of them.
Yes.
So is there different coaches for different areas of what you do?
So the way I actually got my coaches is really same thing like what I always say. I start putting myself where I see people are operating the way that I want to go. So
Got it.
The coaches that I've gotten is just from being in the right area.
Okay. Okay.
These coaches are not part of the program that I'm on. They are actually completely outside of the program.
Okay.
That's the way I got them. One of my coaches, I actually stalked them for like a year. I did. And if you ever see me I've always posted, my coach said this, and I always throw a little plug out there consistently just to be like, because I wanted him to help me out and Mahar is my coach.
Okay. Yeah. We all stalk Mahar.
Yeah.
He's a lot of people's coach, whether he knows it or likes it or not.
Mahar, my coach, And then,
He's our coach.
and then to the point when my wife became an agent, we were like, where do we want to put ourselves as investors and agent? And that's why we joined Southeastern Home Team, because anybody that know Amy Ransdell, she's a beast.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
She was actually Mahar and Frank's coach.
Really?
So
Wow, wow.
That's just to show you too. So it's like, these are the people you want in your circle, because guess what? The for me to keep my mindset going, because I'm human. I have times where I'm down and I'm thinking it might not work.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about throwing in the towel. Plenty of times I've been at the point where I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work.
Yes.
So frustrating, and then I call my coach and then I get beat up. Like, what are you talking about? Let's go, because this is what it is. We don't have room for failure. One of the things is like, I always say, we got to make it work or we got to make it happen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They only have two options: make it work or make it
Those
happen.
are the only two options.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options. You know, and it's always great to have people like that. You know, like it's so many people that I consider as coaches and mentors and things like that. I probably should call them a little more often. But you know, it's so many people, especially in the circle that we're in. There's so many people that do what we do for years. Right? Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Just to call a few names, like the first wholesale deal I did it with Tim and Will with Wholesalers R Us.
Really?
First wholesale deal I did it with those guys, and it was a great deal. The funny thing is that I wholesaled the deal to them. They sold it to another guy. He turned around, sat on the property for a year, made $30 grand off of it.
Wow! Wow!
He turned around and just listed it on Zillow and ended up selling it back for like $30 grand.
Really? After 12 months?
Yeah.
What a great return.
Rehabs and don't make that.
Right. You're right. Absolutely.
John Stafford, he's great. Stacy Rosetta, she's great.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's just putting yourself around people that are doing the things that you want to do to really get yourself to where you want to be.
Absolutely.
People say fake it till you make it, but it's not really faking it. You're really just putting yourself there and learning. If I get just one jewel from each of these people and implement it, my business will be that much better.
Absolutely.
These
Absolutely.
people could tell you stories, and you could just learn from the stories and just having conversations with them with the things that they've gone through, and you might be going through something similar like that right now, and they can help you out anywhere you're headed.
Great.
That's one of the things that really helped us to scale, is just really keeping myself around like-minded people.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I want to say this a lot. Actually, as a matter of fact, all of the people that you mentioned have been on the show, so that speaks volumes about who they are and the things they contribute to what we do as real estate investors. You know, I mean, and this show actually it's been a great avenue, a great outlet for a lot of the people that you mentioned. You know, as well as myself, to be able to share with people, because you know nobody pays to watch this, you know, and it's always been about sharing information and helping people to know more about the business that we're in, you know, whether good, bad, you know, you know, but we teach people the better way, you know, but there's you're saying some major stuff, man, you know, when we're talking about making it happen, you know, or make it work, you know, those are only options, you know, because what's the alternative? To quit? And then what? Right. We got some folks. Oh, excuse me. Damian A said Southwest ACL shouting. Mr. Stafford, John Stafford said, "What's up, fellas?" Shout out to John, the grind guy.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats. The word of the month is relentless.
I'm telling you. Check out the wholesaling live class.
Definitely. Shout out to that. So now these projects that you have going on, you know, and I've come out to some of your projects and I've seen kind of what you do with what you're doing. Who's the person that's showing you? Like you mentioned that you go into areas where not everybody is, and that's you know, says something about who you are and what you do. We're talking about relentless. Most investors won't do something like that. They won't, I guess, be the pioneer in the area.
And it's tougher because hard money lenders don't lend in areas where you don't have ARV or something to say.
This is true.
They're not going to come and say, okay, there's no comps over here, I'm going to lend you money.
Right. So tell us, how do you get away with that then?
It's really following trends, watching the wave, seeing where it's going.
Got it.
With being, I only work in one market. I don't. If you ask me anything about any other market, I have no idea. I have to do like what everybody else do and run my numbers and go and look at the property. My neighborhood. If you tell me a house, I probably drove by it. I probably walked the property already. I probably looked at it. I've seen it before. So 90% of the time, when somebody send me a deal in my area, I can give them a rough number what I think it's gonna sell for or what it's gonna cost to do the renovation off the bat. I bought deals in that area without even looking at the house when they send it to me because I already knew what it was before. Not looking at, I looked at it before they even sent it to me. So when they sent it to me, I was like, oh, I know this house. I know what's gonna cost to do it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to pay attention to your neighborhood. You have to see what's going on. Most of my neighbors know me. If I'm doing a renovation here, I'm going and knocking on the guy door over there and the guy door or the lady door over there, so they know what I'm doing. So guess what? These people are helping you out with what you're doing. Right now, I have a project where I'm actually using the next door neighbor Wi-Fi to run my camera system. That's why.
Wow.
But that's what you have to do.
Yes.
To the same point, he does sheetrock work. He's actually this morning I was doing picking up the sheetrock. It's for him. He's doing the sheetrock on a project that I'm working on right now. It's my next door neighbor.
Really.
So, but I could have got a different sheetrock guy. But guess what? He's doing a favor for me. So listen, I'm throwing him a bone as well. We working together.
Definitely.
That project, I've had material out there and never got stolen. Never had any issues. 2 blocks up the street, I have another project. They're stealing generators.
A little bit different story, huh?
Yeah, whole different story. And as you said, this is real life real estate investing. This is not. I've had 2 generators stolen. I had a day when I was getting the frame inspected. The inspector came out to watch the frame. He's like, nah, you're not gonna pass framing today. I'm like, what do you mean? The guys ripped out the generator. It was chained up around like 6 framing 2x4s.
Oh.
They ripped out. The chain is still on the generator. They ripped it out, and all the 2x4s are knocked down.
Oh,
and
man.
Had to get that reframed and put back up and get all that things before we can get our framing.
How do you not get discouraged doing this stuff, man?
It's again. I'm focusing on yellow.
Got it.
I'm focusing on yellow. So green, orange, purple, everything else going on. I don't
Absolutely.
care, I'm focusing on yellow. I have a goal and a plan set in place. So all of these things are just hiccups and challenges. That's just I'm not gonna allow it to slow me down to accomplish my goal.
Definitely.
My focus is not on the problem. My focus is on the solution. This happened. I need to get my guys out there. Let's get the framers out there to get it done. I have another project. The next door neighbor actually sent pictures to my phone while the guys were taking the material and loaded it in the back of the truck. We had their license plate number and everything. Called the cops, and the cops was like, "Yeah, we can't do nothing." I'm like,
So you said in situations like that, it does you no good to sit around and scratch your head and worry and cry about it, stuff like that, as opposed to just getting up and doing what you got to do.
No, you learn from that and you make it better the next time. It's just I have a property right now. I have somebody staying there until we sell that property. He is staying in that house.
Really, and that's to protect it from anything happening from it.
Exactly, because now,
wow.
Shucks, the wires in it, everything is sheetrocked up. But again, these are the transitional neighborhoods. These are the challenges of going into these neighborhoods. And that's one of the things that people don't tell you about sometimes when you're starting in real estate. This is your renovation budget. Now, this is the budget for the stuff that people are going to break, steal, and missing. You got to add that to your budget.
You have to.
That's not even part of your contingency budget.
Right.
It's a whole nother contingency budget right there.
You're absolutely right. Somebody mentioned that your mic is low. I think I don't know if it went off. Can you check to see if your box is still on?
No, it actually turned off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right,
Can you hear me now? That's better?
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah.
So it's those types of things that it's necessary to have a coach.
Yeah.
It's necessary to have mentors and things like that to walk you through these things.
It's a must.
Because if it happens and nobody's there to tell you it's going to happen, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of times that people get involved in this business where I don't think I've ever seen an HGTV show, and I don't watch a whole lot of them, but I don't think I've ever seen one that has a segment where somebody broke in and stole the material.
You know what? I actually seen it happen one time.
Okay.
One time was in California, and they came in, and the dudes had kicked in the door and stole all the materials out of it.
Oh, okay, okay.
But to his point though, you don't see it a lot though, and they don't show you that because that don't help what they're trying to push. You know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
people don't care about that. People just want to care about the finished project and when it started off and what it looks like when it's finished. I had one investor where the doors were left open when the contract was left open. They came into the house and nothing was missing.
Okay.
So they turned on the generators. They start hearing. Psh. They didn't steal anything at all. They just cut all the air hoses.
Are you serious?
That's all they did.
Wow.
They didn't steal anything. All the equipment and tools was there. They just cut all the air hoses.
That had to be somebody that was just trying to be vindictive or something.
Yeah, because there's some people that don't like investors in their neighborhoods. You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
So that means keep your properties nice and neat because they'll call code enforcement on you.
Definitely.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Just to give you a hard time.
Right.
That's why the first 3 people that's next to me, I'm talking to everybody. How you doing? You're my best friend now until I'm finished.
Definitely. You know, and that's key. You know, I started doing that years ago. I probably need to get back to doing that. But you know, I talk to the people in the neighborhood because you know people see you looking at the house. They come over. They want to know what's going on anyway. You know, like some of the houses that we buy, people haven't been in them in years, and they're like, "Oh, we're glad you're doing something to that house," and you know, and it's making the property value go up. You know, so it's good. It's good to know that. You know, in what we do, you have to make those alliances with the people so that, because, you know, one of the mistakes I made, I did introduce myself to one of the neighbors across the street. And he was like, yeah, I'll keep an eye on the property for you. You know, everything will be all right. Turns out he was the one that was going there stealing the stuff. Like, thanks, buddy. Then he came back over to ask me for a job. Like, I know you stole my stuff, man.
So, to your point, I have a project right now where some framing material is missing. The next door neighbor has 4 cameras around his house, and if you look on his deck, you see all my framing material right now.
Are you serious?
For the deck. So here's the thing in that challenge. If I call the cops gonna say you didn't see him steal it.
Right.
If I make a ruckus out of it, he's next door to me. I'm not there 24/7.
Right.
Do I make that an issue, or I just let it slide? I went to him and was like, yeah, somebody stole all my material, man. Can you look out for me? You know, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And then it's just to let them know, like, we paying attention. Don't try to, you know.
Yeah.
But again, it's very it's challenging.
Yes.
It's not simple. It's not gonna be every day, you know, things like that happen. But it's just these are things that's part of the business.
Definitely.
I had one time a project that I was working on. I came in on Sunday, and I just happened to stop by the project. Mine just said go by the project. They're shooting a music video in the house. So my crew stand up outside, and I'm like, what's going on?
Wait a minute.
And they're like, yeah, they said they spoke to the owner, and I'm like, yeah, nobody didn't have a conversation with me. So I go inside. I'm talking about professional cameras. They had stunt guys doing some karate stuff in the back, and I'm in the house like, okay, what's going on? Dudes had like 3 AKs, like 6 9mm and prop guns, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and my wife and I were there. And we were like, nah, you guys gotta go. They're like, we paid the owner for the house, and I'm like, I'm the owner for the house. Nobody didn't cut me any check.
Right.
You guys had to go.
Yeah.
We end up calling the cops. They finished shooting the video. So think about this. They finished shooting the video. Then the cop finally strolled in. Everybody just pretty much left once the cops left. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Wait, but did the cops show up while they were shooting the video?
No, they finished shooting the video.
Oh, before the cop came.
Before the cop came. But that's just to show you. It took them like 45 minutes to reach.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then he came and was like, okay, all right, see you later.
Amazing. So I really want to get into, you know, what we're talking about is some of the challenges that you faced in doing what you're doing. And I want to kind of highlight that a little bit because where you are now, what you've accomplished and from your journey from the beginning to now. And it speaks volumes about the endurance that you've shown because for people, anybody that knows you knows that you're, you know, highly active in you know, the real estate community. You know, you're on social media, you're doing a lot with that. You're now speaking at events and things like that. So it's people that are coming to you that are looking for information based on what they see you doing. You know, although your time in it is kind of, I mean, it's short-lived, but for anyone that's getting started, that's doing this, I want to kind of highlight who you are and what you do to show them that even in the beginning there are going to be challenges, but you will make it through it if you just stay with it. You know what I mean? So So with the challenges that you faced, and going over budget, people stealing stuff, people
Yeah,
shooting videos, and yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
um, I know mindset in what we do is a major, major, major
That's
thing.
number one. That's
How,
number one.
it is.
That's number one.
What keeps your mindset focused on the yellow? Is it just the people that you have to connect with, or is there books that you read? I mean, what do you do to make sure to enforce yourself to stick to the yellow?
It's gonna be my family.
Okay. Okay.
It's because before the books, before the coaches, before everybody else, you have to have something that's really pushing you, really driving you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have a 2-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and my main thing right now is to really teach them what's going on and show them the things and what they can do with their lives coming up. I don't want to tell them you have to go to school to do this or you have to. No, I want them to be at a point where they can choose to go to school if they want to.
Yes.
They choose to learn what they want to. I'm not forcing them to do anything because I'm not a college graduate with 3 degrees. I know plenty of people with 3 degrees and I make more money than them.
Right.
So that's just another avenue for them, which is great. But just for you growing up and even younger people coming up, there's so much different things for us to come here and really do very well.
Right.
It's kind of like the other movement that you're trying to get your, what is it, 40?
The 46.
46.
Where is the 46?
46.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
We're gonna definitely talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in all of that, the one thing that I want to make sure people that are getting is what you just said was very, very important. Above anything, even above the money that you could potentially make, your motivation is your why.
Yeah.
And your why, like you said, is your family. Yeah. And oftentimes people get caught up in, like I talk to people all the time, with consulting calls and coaching calls and things like that. And I ask them, why real estate? Why is this something that you want to do? And 8 out of 10 of them say, because other people are doing it and they're making a lot of money doing it. And I say to myself, and I say to some of them, while that is an interesting reason to get started, why for you though? Yeah. Why for you? Why is it that you want to get involved in this? Is it just for the money? Is it just because you see other people doing it? And overwhelmingly, what they don't realize is that those people that they see, especially in the world of social media now, we have the ability to show all the glamorous things. We can show the checks and the closings. We can show all these great things. But the hell that we caught to get there, people miss that part.
Yeah. I think the next 6 videos I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you all the stuff.
All the trouble.
Yeah, because but you're right, because it's again, I was talking to one of my coaches, and she was telling me that we're living in a microwave reality right now.
Yes.
So everything has to be instant. Everybody's instant gratification. They want everything right now. So they think, okay, I'm going to join real estate and I'm going to make $1 million
tomorrow.
Literally. I joined this class. Yeah. Why am I not making millions right now?
Right.
You
right.
know? And then even with joining classes in schools, I've known people that joined the same program that I've joined too, and then they haven't even reached a further point because it's the mindset.
Right.
You got to be really the biggest thing that people really got to focus on is the mindset.
Get that.
Get your mind right. And put yourself around the right people, man. If you're trying to accomplish something, why should I make the same mistake as you? It doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
Why should I make the same mistake when you're telling me how not to make the mistake? Why should I go and not listen or follow you or ask questions? To me, Atlanta has so much heavy hitters in Atlanta.
Yes.
That speak freely and give you so much information.
Absolutely. We
can really get an investor can really grow their career here just from off of the network right here.
Absolutely. And that's another major thing that people always miss. You made some other points. People go to college. People pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to college. And this is probably for me. So I'm a soapbox it a little bit. I'm gonna use what you said, but it's probably for me. People pay thousands of dollars to go to college, And they understand that once they graduate college, there is another process to get that dream job that they're hoping for when they graduate. And that process is the first job that they always, in most cases, they get is not the one that they went to school for.
No.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of times the job or the career they went to school for doesn't end up being the career that they ultimately have.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times what people miss in that is that if you're going to be educating yourself about a specific thing and that's your goal to stay in that path, you have to associate yourself with people who are doing what you're hoping to do.
Exactly.
You know, and not only that, there's continuing education.
Exactly. Because it's always changing.
It's always changing.
It's always changing.
You look at a doctor who's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school to specialize in a certain area of medicine, and they ultimately get to that job, they have to continue to study.
Because now there's a newer way to get it done quicker.
Absolutely.
Newer tool that they invent,
Yes.
and I don't know how to use it, so I have to go back to school to learn how to use that newer tool, newer system, whatever it is.
So why do people get into real estate? They close one deal, and they think they've made it, and that's the only way it is to do it. And then they get to the next deal, and they have trouble, and they're like, it doesn't work.
And it still goes to that instant gratification. So it's I win, and the first time I lose, then I'm done.
Yes.
Because this is a show, doesn't work, systems don't work. But then look into yourself. What were you doing? Because even I'll tell you right now, I'm not perfect. I'm still working on my systems.
Man.
I'm still building structuring myself to what I need to be doing and where we need to go. Moving from 4 to 5 rehabs, we're good. 6 to 7, and when you start reaching to these numbers now, it's like the systems that work for 4 projects is not the same systems you're gonna use for 11 projects.
Absolutely.
Your system has
Absolutely.
to change. It has to grow. You got to get a lot more organized, else it'll get away from you.
Right.
Especially with us floating like this right now, we spend so much money at one given time. Where if you're not on top of your budget, on top of your numbers, you'll spend all the money and things are getting done.
Yeah.
But where did it go?
Absolutely.
So you got to be on top of everything that you're doing. The only way for you to do that is really put your good system in place, having the right people. Like one of the things working in the restaurant industry, aces in all the right places.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not good with numbers, and money I'm good with, but all the other numbers.
All the other numbers.
All the other numbers. But my wife is great at that, the administrative part of it. My mom is great at cold calling. She's very personable. She talks to people. She gets better results at people wanting her to have another conversation with them than I do. I'm good at the closing part of it when it comes closer to working with the numbers and things of the sort, because I'm just a little more hands-on on it right now, so I can go into there and kind of negotiate a little bit better on that. But again, it takes a team. I was fortunate to have my family to help me out.
Yes.
That joined it. During that time, I kind of skipped through it too, because even with my wife, she was working at Vision Works when she came up here, and I told her to quit her job. She was like, okay, and I was like, we're on camera. Oh, sure. Like she listened. Like, okay, so we're anybody that knows, once you're doing rehabs, you don't make money.
You're right. Absolutely, you don't.
You have 30 rehabs. You're not making money.
Exactly. You're spending more money than you're making.
You're not making any money at all when you're making rehabs. So guess what you have to do? You have to cash flow.
Yes.
How do you cash flow if you have this project that's constantly taking money from you? You have to have. There's so many different parts of real estate where you can make money, and that's why she became an agent. So she's selling other people's houses. We're staging.
I'm sorry. Somebody says the mic isn't working. Is it my mic? Can you hear my mic? I think yours went off again.
I think it went off again. The battery's probably dead.
The battery
isn't. The battery's full. It just keeps shutting off. The battery's dead.
Did it shut off again?
No, it got one bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. They'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll make it through it. Let me know if you guys can at least.
Can you still hear me?
Can you still
thumbs up if you can still hear?
Hopefully they can still hear. We hear you well, Glenn. But can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Okay, somebody gave a thumbs up.
Okay,
so good.
You can hear? All right.
All right, good. So I guess I just got to pay attention if that light goes off.
Yeah.
To tell you to turn it back on.
Okay.
All right. Okay, good. Somebody said it's low. Okay, better. Okay, good, good, good.
How
All
about
right.
now? How about now? Are we good?
Better.
All
Okay.
right.
Good, good, good.
Real life real estate investing.
Real life
man.
real estate investing. Listen,
This is
hey,
real
this
life.
is y'all are a great audience for giving us that feedback.
telling
I
you.
I appreciate that.
I'm telling you.
You know, helps us to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong.
I know.
So, you talked about systems, and you know, you're in scaling up from 4 rehabs to 11. What has to change from, you know, well, first of all, I know it's a major mindset shift, but what in your systems changed from 4 to 11? Can you share that with us?
So one of the things is just really documenting and keeping track of everything that you're doing, because if I just went to Home Depot. I bought 72 boards of sheetrock, so I have to label every purchase that I actually just got a folder too where I label everything that I'm buying now, everything that we're doing, and put the project name on it as well to say, hey, this is what we're doing, and we spend it towards that. So now we're moving to daily. You have to keep checks and balance daily. We have to start doing to make sure that we're keeping up, because you can't wait till the end of the week, because you could pay 30 people during the week, and then if you wait until the end of the week to find out who you paid, when you paid them, what got this one.
Yes.
And then I'm using the same plumber on 4 jobs. I got to make sure that the check that I wrote, I'm documenting on the check, hey, for this project. And the same thing, because I can't pay him from this money for that project and things of the sort. So you just got to make sure you're keeping track of all that. And once you, I'm not doing as much as I should, but we're still pushing to just get the system better.
And are you responsible for all of that happening, or?
Well, no, my wife takes care of all the administrative stuff. She's great. She's perfect when it comes to things, so she's more organized than I am.
Definitely.
A lot more organized.
So you said, wife, honey, quit your job. Let's do this real estate thing full time, and let's hope for the best.
Yep.
How did that work out? She
did
it right.
Y'all
y'all still together.
Yeah, I'm still here. Well, then, even with that being said, too, that's powerful, because I know people right now with if you and your spouse are not on the same page in what you're doing, it could be a cancer where it kills your relationship if both of you are not really focusing. It's me and her against the world, so we constantly have to regroup within ourselves. And one of the biggest problems that we have right now, I'm putting our business out there, but it's just we work together constantly. Every day we're around each other 24/7, is not forgetting that we're married.
Right.
So that's our biggest issue.
Mike went out again. I turned him on one more time.
That's one of the issues we're having right now, is just remembering, hey, have a date night.
Got it.
And doing things like that, because I work, so it's like she's working, I'm working. We're both just doing so many things and getting getting everything situated, but just starting to really schedule time for everything and having everything set up. I start setting daily plan things, checklists, what I have to check off to get done every day, and also just what can I do to help build our brand, build the company, because we're still looking to grow our company. We're still looking to pick up more projects. And the way we do that is showing everybody what we're doing, is showing you the project timeline, and we're getting better with our systems. So first 2 projects, we took 2 or 3 projects, we took a little bit longer than we are. The project that I just started, Baker, we're 2.5 months and we putting sheetrock in right now, and we're getting ready to do, by the end of next week we should be finished everything inside. So you see, we're getting better at what we're doing.
Better organized,
much more organized. Don't be afraid to pay the people to do your work, because that's one of the things that we look at, is that we're trying to nickel and dime and get that cheapest contractor, and you pay more.
Yeah.
Because then you got to hire the right guy to come back, and every time a contractor comes behind somebody, the first thing he said, "Oh, I got to rip everything out."
Cost a whole lot more. That mic went out again, man. I don't.
Yeah, it's
I think I may have to. Well, I guess we. I got some batteries.
You want me to switch it out?
Yeah. We'll switch it out real quick, because we're gonna be wrapping up. All right, y'all pause for a minute. We'll be right back. Pause for the calls. Let me grab some batteries real quick. And to my IG folks, thank y'all for hanging with us. But I can't read y'all comments, so whatever they are, send me a DM, and we'll address whatever questions that you may have or comments that you may have, and we're gonna be sharing with you guys how to reach out to Damien and myself if there's anything I can help you with. So thank y'all for hanging with us. I can't see your comments; it's a little further away, but I have a pad for the Facebook comments.
Yeah, so we're good.
All right, good. So we talked about a whole lot of things today, and I want to kind of reemphasize some of the things that you covered. Mindset, a major thing. Stick-to-itiveness. Staying, you said keeping your focus on the yellow, and I wanna kind of use that phrase because that's a phrase that John Stafford speaks to a lot of his folks that he works with, to the Everybody Eats team. He tells them to stay in the yellow. And what his stand in the yellow is, instead of looking at red or green, stay in the yellow. Because a lot of times people get excited. Well, first of all, they get sad if something doesn't happen. And they get a contract and they get excited and they start counting the money before it even goes to closing. So that's one of the things that he talks to his folks about, staying in the yellow. So I want to commend you as well for keeping that kind of focus. And this is for educational purpose for the people that you're sharing with that are watching. Stand in the yellow, having systems in place, be organized. You said another thing that was very key: pay the people, pay the professionals to do what the professionals do.
I really think that my goal right now in life is to make enough money to pay every single person that I need to do what they could do, so I don't have to do anything at all.
Yes, that's kind of where I am. My major issue is, it's like I can't pay people enough to do this show for me. Like, come in and set up the show. I have several people that have come in and done it. They won't stay with me. I don't know why, but anyway.
But that's what it is, though, and that's why and it shifts, because when I look at people that are wealthy and I see them spending money on things, and I'm like, man, he's spending money so frivolously, and I'm like, nah. Now I realize, no, what it is the peace of mind. So after working so much hours, we went on vacation the other day. We're like, nah, I'm not gonna drive no 6 hours. We're gonna get a flight and fly down instead of driving.
Absolutely.
And then when we reach, we're like, nah, we're not gonna rent a car. We just Uber everywhere, because guess what? It's just after driving around and doing I drive around all the time. Like, I don't want to, when I'm on vacation, I don't want to drive.
Don't want to drive.
I literally don't want to drive anywhere.
Well, when I go to Detroit, it's not vacation for me, so I have to get a car.
Yeah.
Because nobody will take me anywhere.
Oh man.
But I wanna really applaud you for where you are now and where you've come from. Now, we connected a little bit in the beginning, when you were starting out. And I've watched your growth, and I have to say, I'm very, very impressed. I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate it.
And I know I'm just speaking for me, but I know there's so many other people that have watched your progress. That even those of us that have been in the business for some time, it's still impressive to see somebody that comes in the business that'll take the bumps and bruises and continue to stay with it. So listen, thank you for me. Because I'm like, if this dude come in, he only been doing it for 2 years, and he can get hit upside the head and keep going. 20 years get hit upside the head.
Yeah.
So it kind of re-energizes, showing your activity, showing what you do on social media, and just staying networking. As much as you work, you still find time to network with other people and get out. I need to do better at that. I haven't been out in a while. I've been a little busy.
But then, as you said, that's my charge. Because
yes.
When I'm out here and getting these bumps and bruises, and I'm reaching the point, I selective meetings.
Yes.
So now it's not going to every single real estate meeting, because then that's a job in itself.
It is.
So instead of just going to everybody meeting, then I go to very selective meetings and going there because I need an idea right now. I'm doing something right now.
Yes.
I need to have conversation with people that are doing it more than me, and then a lot of times that's when I get a great idea and I find a resolution to trouble that I was having, because I went there and spoke to this person, and it kind of just refreshed my mind, and okay, now I could go attack that challenge again. Definitely. Just because of the conversation.
Yeah. oftentimes, and we always talk about your network is your net worth, and we talk about networking
Up.
being a major,
Yeah.
yes, networking up.
Networking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a major thing because oftentimes I go to meetings that sometimes I don't feel like going to,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm re-energized
When
once
you
I
get
get
it,
there,
yeah.
and I'm like, wow, if I hadn't come, I might have missed that new idea.
Yeah.
It's probably an old idea. Maybe it's something that I already knew. Even in that
But it's
case,
still a refreshment.
it's
though,
a refresher.
Because there's so much stuff that I knew, and I'm like, man, I doing that. Why am I not doing
Why
that?
am I not doing that? Right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good things. And I want to thank our community of people that we're connected to. I mean, there's so many of them to name.
Yeah.
But I want to certainly thank for the community that we have now, because I remember there was a time
Yeah.
that there was a community. It was about this big.
Yeah.
And you had to have a golden pass and the password and the handshake and all that to get in.
3 times.
Right.
With the left eye, not the right one. The left eye.
I'm very appreciative of what we have. Like, we didn't have this,
Yeah.
back in the times when times were really rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people say. A lot of people that are doing it now for years are telling you, I wish we had this when we were starting.
Yes.
They didn't have this type of platform and things, and people telling you what they're going through and things of the sort. So they just learned as they go, or through smaller meetings and things of the sort. So it's like, even when I talk to some investors that are doing it a longer period than me, and I'm like, yeah, the project sat on the market 2 weeks. He's like, man, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. I'm like, seriously? The average real estate deal was 30 days it's sitting on the market.
Listen,
So,
we had deals that were hot back in like 2005, 2006. I mean, it was really hot.
Yeah.
They were still 30, 45 days.
Exactly. And it was a hot deal. Yeah.
Right.
So people are spoiled right now, and they're thinking it's a negative shift. The market's not. It's not a negative shift. It's just correcting.
It's correcting. And let's talk about that just for a second. We got a few more minutes. But even in that, as a person that's where you are and what you're doing, what do you foresee from your experience so far? What do you foresee in the market?
I honestly can't give you a up or down, and because I can't say up or down, I have to be strategic in where we're at right now.
Got it.
To just be in a point where when it does shift or correct, we have enough time to regroup with our business, that we're not hit hard. And that's why I do stay at the price point that I am right now, because
absolutely,
it's first-time home buyer is always going to be a first-time home buyer.
Definitely.
So now the person that's buying a $300,000 house, they might not get the $300,000 house. They might be qualified for a $200,000 house. And guess what? They come in. Because guess what? My $200,000 house looks just like your $300,000 house.
Exactly.
I'll
maybe in a different neighborhood.
Maybe
but it still looks as good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's the point we're at right now. And it's like, the buyer pool is just crazy right now, where it's so saturated that we've never had any issues. And then people saying projects are sitting on the market because it's some of these markets right now, it's hit the top of the market, and people are still going there trying to push the numbers, and it's already sold out of past that right now, and they're trying to list for these crazy numbers, and then wondering why their projects are not sitting. There's like 30 good renovations out there right now. I go in some neighborhoods right now and see some amazing renovations, but the problem is 6 of them on the block.
6 of them on the same block.
6 of them on the same block, and then they're listing them for some ridiculous price, and then you see somebody come and do a great job and list it for $30,000 or $40,000 under what they do, and it sell instantly.
Yeah. And that's it's in those cases, another teachable moment. It's in those cases where the people that aren't as experienced or haven't been through these types of situations, where they can understand that their margins have to be a certain amount, so that in those instances where that property comes in that's renovated just as good as theirs and sells for $30,000 less, a lot of the investors don't have that margin to even reduce that price.
Because what it is, they're pushing the numbers, and they're spending it thinking, I'm going to spend all this money and I'm going to sell it for this.
Eventually, I hope, maybe, possibly.
But what happens when you don't sell it for that?
Exactly.
Exactly. As I said, I'm still making mistakes. I have projects right now that I'm kind of like, we're close. And
made it.
So it's not, one of the things that I look at is just keep pushing and doing volume.
Absolutely.
We're doing being consistent and doing enough volume, then whether it goes up or down, you're consistent enough to weather the storm.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to make $80,000 on every flip and things of
Right,
the sort.
right.
I'm better off at making a certain margin and sticking to it. And whether it go up or down, we're not pushing anything. We're sticking to right where it is and just weathering it. Like I won't buy anything that's selling for 300. I just won't. I'd sell it to somebody else. I'm not going into any market where I'm going to sell over that price point because I don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too much things going on below that where I can make a good profit without going there. So why do I go into these neighborhoods with 30 other investors? And it's not because I'm afraid to. I could go there and do the same job I'm doing right now and sell, but I like where I'm at.
If you don't have to, why do it?
Exactly.
You know, if your model's not broke,
why
fix it? You know.
Yeah, I've bought about 17,000 square foot house. I have about 6 or 7 plans for 1,000 square foot house.
Wow.
3 renovations, and I tell people every time. Surprised when I tell people all the time, they're like, "Man, can you fit a 3-2 in 1,000 square foot house?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got 5 different plans for it."
Right.
Yeah.
That's where our challenge was for a while. Like, how do we? You know, we wouldn't want to. I didn't want to buy anything less than 1,200 square feet because I'm like, how am I going to do a 3-2?
Yeah.
You know, but right now we're doing two 3-2s on the same street, and they're like 1,085, 1,075. You know, and I'm like, it's working. You know, so. But listen, Damien, I can't appreciate you. I can't say thank you enough for doing this, man.
Thank you for having me.
I know you're a busy man. That phone is blowing up over there. You got stuff to take care of. Let's tell the folks how they can get in contact with you because you're a wealth of knowledge, and I want people to really be able to appreciate what you have to offer. How can folks get in contact with you?
Check me out on IG, LP Properties. If you go to LP Property, if you go on Facebook, it's just my name, Damien Palmer, or LMP Property on Facebook, and just PM me, send me a message, hit me up. We could talk a little bit later. Reach out. My wife is an agent, so if there's any investors out there who have a property has an issue selling, call us. Send us a message. We can definitely come in there and just have a different set of eyes and look at it, and we'll look out for you.
And for all the people that want to send him some money to do deals.
Oh, you see? We do a great job of making sure you stay good. So even if he's serious, though, if anybody out there that even wants to do something, we have so much different programs that we're starting up right now because I see a lot of new investors that want to do things and they're financially able, but they just don't want to jump in. They want to kind of shadow somebody or thing. Reach out to me because I work with right now 3-4 of my deals. I'm partnering with other investors, so just reach out to me and we can go from there.
Definitely, good stuff. So listen, that's been the show. We see we're getting a lot of love over here.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you very much. I don't see your wife's name on here, so that's probably not her. I think that's probably Miss Angela Davenport. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We had a few other people that jumped on. Tim Harvey, shout out to Tim. Shout out to Wholesalers R Us. I don't know if Wholesalers R Us. I don't know when the next event is, so I can't say when it is. What's the next time that you're speaking? Are you talking?
July 3rd, South Atlanta RIA meeting. It will be the main meeting. We're doing an event talking about wholesaling, so come check it out. Definitely South Atlanta RIA. Okay,
good stuff. SouthAtlantaRIA.com. Become a member.
Stacey Rossetti, she's a beast as well. She's been doing it for a good while now. She does a lot of investing in storage unit right now. She's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Definitely come check it out.
Anything else you want to leave with the folks before we go?
Pretty much, for any new investors or even seasoned investors, just keep pushing, keep networking, keep being around the people that are keeping you motivated. All those negative people that are not telling you this and you can't make it, you can't do it, those people need to come out your circle. Definitely.
Don't let the dream stealers steal your dream. Let them hold on to their own.
Yeah, for real. Definitely.
All right, folks, listen, this has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions.
What Tim said? Last Saturday every month.
Oh, last Saturday every month. I don't know why that's not showing up here.
Definitely. Last Saturday every month. Definitely. That's a free event.
Yes.
Wholesalers R Us.
Wholesalers R Us.
Check it out. I actually bought a property being at that meeting. Somebody reached out to me while I was at that meeting. definitely, if you're an investor and you're not going to check that out, something's wrong. You need to go out there, check it out. Tim and Will are wealth of knowledge. There's a great set of guys. Check
My brothers.
It out. Definitely.
My
Definitely.
brothers. Check it out. Check it out. I'm trying to figure out why that didn't show up on here. But okay. We got the announcement out there. Thanks for that. Thanks for that message. It didn't show up on here, so that's why I didn't say it. I'm sorry. But IG, thank y'all for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Anything that we can help y'all with, DM us, send us a message. You have the contact information from Mr. Damian Palmer. Certainly reach out to him, connect with him. Make sure you get out, network, meet some people. Meetings make you money.
All right.
Thank y'all for watching. I look forward to seeing you real soon.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. We
out.
My push button person isn't here.